Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Hello there, Clapperheads, and welcome to a brand new edition of ClapperTalks.
His name is Nick Dorian.
And his name's Kelvin Tay. And yes, finally, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is now on Disney Plus Hotstar.
It is.
And there has been a lot of trepidation about this because, of course, a Spider-Man series, we already have an amazing Spider-Man series back in the 90s, which nothing can touch. And while this series doesn't come close to that, it still succeeds in many, many, many ways as a brand new iteration of the Peter Parker story.
I just want to preface by saying that I'm not old enough to remember the original Spider-Man animated show. I know there's a lot of memes out there about it. There's a lot of talks, a lot of buzz about it. But it wasn't my era. Same like how TNMT wasn't my time as well, right?
Okay.
I was born in 92. So it's like
young boy.
It's like the silver ages of cartoon, I would say, right?
Yeah.
But looking at your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, never thought I would enjoy it watching the pilot. Okay?
The first episode alone was a lot of fun.
Was a lot of fun. I just want to say that out of all of this, you know how whenever people have that nostalgic punch to the face when they have classic cartoons or film just by listening to the theme song?
Yes.
The theme song here, titled Neighbor Like Me by the Math Club.
Okay.
M-A-T-H, like mathematics.
Mathematics,
right?
yeah?
Okay, Mathematics Club. Okay, the Math Club. Bro, sold.
I was sold.
Right?
I love that theme so much.
Yeah.
And I love that kept a running theme throughout the first two episodes. Now, we've only seen the first two episodes. I know the other 2 or 3 are out today as time of recording.
I'm up to 5 now.
Oh, you're up to 5?
I'm up to 5 now.
I've only seen the first 2 episodes. I haven't had time to see the other 3. But coming back to that theme song, having that nod to the original series tells us that, okay, this is for new fans and old fans alike. And there's equal amounts of that within this series, which I love. It introduces Peter Parker to a new generation if they haven't already with Tom Holland. But it also graciously has a lot of Easter eggs and nods to old-time fans, to old series and especially the MCU and whatnot.
Peter, you're gonna be late.
Sorry, mate, I'm okay.
So I think this, to me, is a near perfect series, hands down already, just from the first 2 episodes alone. How do you feel?
I definitely feel like this is a refreshing take, right? Because there's a lot to unpack here, especially with this show, right? You have new characters, you have recasted characters. But what I love most about Hudson Thames' Peter Parker is that he reminds me of the original Peter Parker.
Yes.
Right? The really like, the 50s?
The school kid. He really is a school kid.
Right? He's like, what, 15, 16 in this series itself. He's still in school.
Yeah.
How he got his Spidey powers was a bit different.
Yes.
A bit of
alien thing
a bit
coming
of
down.
pilot episode spoilers here.
Yeah.
Just briefly, a portal open, alien came out, Doctor Strange came out, and then suddenly they were fighting, and then the spider came out of the hole, which is like the portal, and then he got bit, and then that's how he got his powers, right? It's not like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man
when they were in a school trip.
Yep. But
I still can't believe Tobey Maguire was supposed to be 15, 16 years old.
How I see this is basically I completely accept whatever they throw at us after the introduction of the MCU, the multiverse, and the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
You can't talk badly about this. It's like, oh, why some casting is like not a Caucasian person? Why is it casted to an African? Why is his mentor different? Blah,
why
blah,
is
blah,
Dr.
blah.
Connor a female?
Right?
Where's Mary Jane? Where's Gwen Stacy?
Completely understandable.
Yeah.
Completely understandable. Spider-Verse showed us there's not only one Spider-Man.
Yeah.
There is a whole universe of Spider-Man, literally.
And this perfectly fits within that universe of like, okay, this is an alternate timeline. You're introduced to characters that haven't already been introduced in the MCU. It's a moment for us to appreciate the comics more than anything else, because these are some deep cut characters from the comic books that not a lot of people who watch the MCU know about. Comic book lovers may know about them, but the greater audience might not know. And I think this is a great way to introduce that to them by going, hey, these aren't the only characters that exist within the Spider-Man world. There's a whole bunch of characters.
And I enjoy how this is a Spider-Man centric show as well. But they throughout the whole 5 episodes that I watched so far, they do pepper out all the events that happen during the MCU, like the Civil War,
Yes.
how there's like Team Cap, Team Iron Man,
Yeah.
how there's like Thor, there's like Gamma Rays. There's a lot of pop culture reference, or in this case, Easter eggs from the MCU that you'll be like, oh shit, I watched the film. I understand this point.
Right?
Right? Yeah.
But there's, again, also enough for people who haven't watched the MCU to still really enjoy this series. Now, after the break, we're going to come back and we're going to be talking a little bit more about the characters and the cast themselves. So stick around for that.
Beep, boop.
So moving on to the characters themselves, like we talked about Peter Parker, and I feel I agree, this is the perfect iteration of Peter Parker. They have managed to capture the essence, the spirit, and the actor as well. What's his name again?
Hudson Thames.
Hudson Thames has perfectly encapsulated Peter Parker just by the voice alone.
He sounds like he's 15. He sounds like he just broke his voice.
Yeah.
And he sounds exactly like what a kid Peter Parker would actually sound like.
Yes.
To me, Tom Holland's a bit older, right? In the films, he sounds a bit more mature.
Yeah.
But this one, the characteristics of him, the voice, how he plays out as both Peter Parker and Spider-Man, you can clearly tell
Yes.
he is an ADHD kid.
Yes.
Right.
And that's the thing. He is a kid and he's just awkward, insecure,
Yes.
like bumbling.
Yes.
And I'm like, this is Spider-Man. This is Peter Parker. Even when he's Spider-Man, he's still trying to get through the ropes and whatnot,
Yes.
trying to find his steps because he just got bitten. And now he has this new superpower that he's trying to learn. And seeing him learn the powers is just so much fun because it feels relatable.
Yeah.
Like we get something new, we're like, how do we do it? Oops, I made a mistake. Shit, do I do this? Do I do that?
I also want to touch on the animation itself because during the break we did briefly talk about it, right? What I call this is like a animated / comic book cell shaded art.
Yep.
Very similar to games like Borderlands, for example, where you can see the heavy bolded black outline
Yeah.
of it, right? I did mention that the first pilot episode got me a bit worried because I personally don't like this kind of animation. But once I peer through the veil and be like, oh wow, this is actually acceptable. It's very refreshing, very new. And the storyline itself and the actors and the voice actors and the characters itself really just picked it all up. And I just see past that and it's like, okay, this is something actually amazing is going on here.
Yes, it really is an amazing Spider-Man. But the other cast of characters as well, the sort of unknowns of the Spider-Man universe, I feel so far each of them have played a relatively important role. Like they're not missed out. Even if we don't have a massive backstory, there's still enough for us to care about the character.
Yep.
And seeing these new characters is again very refreshing to see. And it opens up again to the MCU of whether we could see live action versions of these characters or whether we'll see these characters within the Spider-Verse universe. The Spider-Verse universe. The
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse. That universe.
Yeah.
And again, everyone voice casting wise suits the roles.
At episode 2, where do you end off?
That's a good question.
Did
can't
he
remember at the moment.
meet his mentor?
No, not yet. Not yet.
No.
No, I don't think that's in. Was that episode 2?
Was Norman Osborn?
Yes.
In
Norman
whatever-
Osborn was there already. Yes.
So I won't spoil much of it, right? But the actor for Norman Osborn, which is voiced by Coleman Domingo, amazing. Because in the original Spider-Man films, Raimi's Spider-Man,
You don't
right?
like Defoe? Defoe's Green
Defoe
Goblin?
is great. Have you not seen him in Nosferatu? Dude, anything with Defoe.
Nosferatu's not out yet.
Is it not out yet?
It's not out yet in
Oh, well.
Malaysia, but understandably, it's already out in digital. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
I'm saving it. I'm saving it to see it in the
Wait,
Malaysian cinemas
have you not
first.
watched it yet?
I've not watched it yet,
Right.
and I'll explain to you a good reason
Okay.
why.
Just a bit of segue. Defoe in Nosferatu.
Did he become the friend?
He is the best.
Oh,
the
nice.
best.
Nice.
Right? Yeah, the best. Right. Anyways, Norman Osborn in this series itself will eventually become the role of Iron Man.
Okay.
It's not going to be a spoiler. It's in the trailers as well.
Okay.
But we all know the name Osborn
Yes.
and what it carries as well. Right?
Yes.
Throughout the episodes so far that I watched, episode 5, you will feel very good but iffy about it. Right? I won't spoil it because this is something that have to be unraveled by yourself.
Yeah.
But all I want to say, Coleman Domingo's voice acting for this.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Like that opening scene when we first see Norman Osborn, I'm like, oh damn! Like that sequence alone. I don't know if you've seen the TikToks of it, but I caught it immediately. I'm like, this seems familiar. Very, very oddly familiar. This scene, and I'm like, oh shit! It's the scene from Far From Home when he
it
meets
is.
Iron Man for the first time. Except this time, it's replaced with Norman Osborn instead.
Yes.
So again, it's this alternate timeline of what if he became Norman Osborn's mentoree instead of Tony Stark's mentoree.
Yep.
And I love that. Again, nodding to the people that are hardcore MCU fans and also comic book fans. Like the art style, I know there's a few comic book covers that have been recreated within the series, which is massively exciting because I always love it when they do that, of referencing the original comics rather than just referencing the films itself, which hopefully will get people reading comics again because, guys, comic sales are down. Like, come on, guys, comics, bring it back up.
Let's just move on towards the meat on bone here, right? What do you enjoy most about your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man so far after watching 2 episodes?
What I enjoy about it is the essence of Peter Parker. Like, I love Spider-Man. I grew up reading Spider-Man and Batman, but Spider-Man has always sort of been the more relatable character because he's this nerdy, geeky high school kid who just suddenly has powers.
And awkward.
And awkward.
And very
and
awkward.
So was I when I was a kid. And seeing this series...
Now also.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Why? Why are you my co-host? That's why. I made this decision. I have only myself to blame.
Do you like my mug?
Yeah, nice. Good job. Anyway, so Peter Parker has always been relatable to me. And for the first time, not to discount Garfield, Maguire, Holland, even Neil Patrick Harris in the animated series, but this is the first time that I'm looking at it and going, I believe this is the comic books Peter Parker.
Yes.
Through and through.
It was casted just right,
Yes.
but only in the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Only in the Spider-Verse.
What about you?
I don't know if I ever told you this before. I grew up DC. I grew up reading a lot of JLA and Batman comic books. I have one prized possession in my room framed up. It's a 1992, if I'm not mistaken, Batman Spawn comic.
Okay.
Loved it, right? Anyways, I grew up DC, never got a chance to actually get into Spider-Man until I was a lot older.
Yeah.
Okay. I always wanted to understand why people enjoy Spider-Man, the cartoons, the comic books. This one gave me the reason to. Right? This one, it again, it's a completely different universe than what the OG fans were into. But this one, if I was, let's just say, in primary school, in high school, right, like Form 1, Form 2, definitely would make me a hardcore fan for Spider-Man.
Like, I hope Marvel continues in this direction of, you know, it's all right to have standalone series that are not necessarily connected to the greater MCU. And I want that to be kept for your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. No need to make him part of the MCU. Just keep him as it is because I think that's what keeps it refreshing and fun.
Yep.
Sure, would I like to see a cameo in Spider-Verse? For sure. But that's about it. And also, I want that suit in the Spider-Man games. I want his super suit in the Spider-Man
Which one?
games.
Like this one?
The university one, the high school,
the high
like,
school, the
jersey
patchy
and all
jersey
that.
one.
Yes, because it's very reminiscent of like the X-Force uniforms a little bit, the student uniforms. I love it. I love this series 100%. I give it a honest 10 out of 10. Like, I find no fault with it at this point.
I just want to add in here, right, as a timestamp in this episode so we can reference it in the future.
Yep.
Right now, IMDb, today is what? Today is the 6th of February 2025.
Yep.
On IMDb right now is 6.2 out of 10, 2.9 thousand rating.
What's
okay.
wrong with people?
6.2. But then, one of the films that we covered before this also had a low rating, but right now it's high. I think it was Flow, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So let's just see how it goes.
Yeah.
Right? It is trending upwards, 18 in popularity on IMDb.
Yeah.
I definitely want to see more of this. I feel like when it comes to animation itself, we have seen DC animation.
Yes.
Right? The potential, the possibilities to tell stories across not only the multiverse, but like the what ifs, right?
Yeah.
Like Batman Samurai that you
Yes,
love so much.
Batman Ninja.
Right?
Yes.
There is so much potential. I can't wait for more because if fingers crossed, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man in Marvel animation does well, we already have the Marvel what ifs.
Yes.
Right? All of this give us so much potential to see new characters, new storylines, new content in the future.
Come on, Marvel. Give us back that Howard the Duck series. Just do it, please.
Speaking about Howard the Duck, did you see the latest season for What Ifs?
Hey, come on. It's already been done in the original film. We had ducks with boobs, and we had Howard the Duck having
She
an
laid
affair
an
with a
egg.
human. It was, well, you know,
Why?
we've seen worse. The live action film was a lot worse. Nothing can get worse than that, okay? But Kevin Smith, Howard the Duck, it was a recipe for perfection. Marvel, get back on that. Stop making Hit Monkey. We don't need more Hit Monkey. Make Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
Anyways, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is now available on Disney Plus Hotstar. So make sure you go and check out the first 5 episodes. And I think we've got a subsequent 4 or 5 more episodes to come, if I'm not mistaken. So go and check it out. Let us know your thoughts down below. And as always, you can check us out on all social media, Instagram, TikTok, and of course, YouTube at ClapperCorn.
And you can check us out on @RRP Malaysia on Instagram, TikTok, and wherever we are at, I think. Anyways, www.renegadeplus.com. Just 1 week break and I lost the whole
I
entire...
know, tell me about it.
Right.
2 weeks
Yeah.
and I can't even do the clapperboard anymore.
Anyways,
Thank you so much for watching. Keep watching the movies.
goodbye.
Spider-Man.
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 Everyone knows Spider-Man.
That's me, by the way. I'm Spider-Man.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. It's the first Spider-Man show from Marvel Studios, and we're so invested towards making this the standout Spider-Man show.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my...
The training wheels are off, so to speak.
One era that this series is going to explore is the 60s aesthetic that Steve Ditko put on the page so well.
It's a comic book come to life.
The animation is so cool to me. I really love the style of it.
Thanks.
It's so of the now, but also vintage.
It's bringing a lot of things to the table that those other Spider-Man shows may not have been able to do.
Oh, this is gonna be awesome.
It's still Spider-Man that you know and love.
This is the first day of the rest of your life.
You have Daredevil, Doctor Strange, Scorpion, Doc Ock.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
We're gonna have different takes on classic characters.
You got a name, hero?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm Peter Parker. How about you?
Nice to meet you, Pete. I'm Nico Minoru.
Hey, Pearl.
Hey, Lonnie. Feel free to take a few notes on your way out, Pete.
And I'm here because Come on, Spidey.
It's really fun and exciting.
What the?
And action-packed.
We're doing something a little different.
Expect the unexpected.
With my help, we'll achieve greatness.